Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India NewsHour, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 1 hour, US and Israel continue to strike Iran, hitting civilian and economic infrastructure. Iran keeps up drone attacks on Gulf countries. The Arab League calls Iran's attack on its member states reckless. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates developmental projects worth 33,500 crore rupees in Delhi. Rapper turned politician Balen Shah's party heads for a poll landslide in Nepal, secures a massive lead in both direct ballot and proportional representation vote. President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi extend greetings on the occasion of the International Women's Day. President says educated and empowered women are pillars of a progressive nation. And India set a massive 256-run target for New Zealand in the ICC T20 World Cup final in Ahmedabad. Meanwhile, Indian badminton star Lakshya settles for a second place in the All England Open. The US-Israel war with Iran is widening to include civilian infrastructure, even as Iran refuses to bow down to US pressure. Donald Trump has warned that the war may end only with Iran's leadership and military wiped out. Netanyahu is also vowing full-force action. On Sunday, multiple Iranian drones hit the Gulf nations, resulting in burning down of a Kuwaiti government complex. The Arab League foreign ministers met through video conferencing and condemned the attacks. Take a look at the developments on day 9 of the war.
On day 9 of the escalating Iran conflict, Tehran has sent a clear signal that it will not bow to US-Israeli pressure. The development comes as Iran moves closer to naming a new supreme leader. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian reiterated that regional disagreements should be resolved internally and warned against external interferences.
The enemy wants us and the Islamic country to be at war. They want to create division between us and them. Time and again we have said and continue to say that the intention and goal of late leader has been that we consider the neighboring countries as our brother and that our relation with them should be good. But what is happening is that if from any country they attack our soil and carry out aggression, naturally we are obliged to respond to them. When we respond to them, this does not mean that we have a dispute with that country. It does not mean that we want to upset the people there.
The reaction comes after US President Donald Trump said the war with Iran may only end with the country's military and leadership completely wiped out. Trump also criticized British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, accusing him of damaging relations and asserting that the United States does not need Britain's support to win the war against Iran. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to prosecute the conflict with full force, stating that Israel has a clear plan to eliminate Iran's leadership.
You are telling me, the government, the soldiers and our heroic commanders to continue until the end, until victory. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support, and I inform you we are continuing with all our force. In war you win with initiative and cunning, but the first element of success is determination.
As tensions mount, fresh missile and drone strikes have been reported across the region. Several Gulf countries, including Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain, reported Iranian drone attacks overnight. In Kuwait, a massive fire engulfed a government office complex following the strike. In UAE, Dubai International Airport partially resumed operations since Saturday. Arab League chief also lashed out on Iran on Sunday for attacking Arab countries. He said Arab countries have not played any role in the war against Iran and declared that the territories would not be used as launching pads for attacks on the country. The US Embassy in Norway's capital, Oslo, was also hit by an explosion early on Sunday, but the investigation is undergoing to know the cause of the hit. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron is set to visit Cyprus on Monday to show solidarity after a drone strike targeted the EU member last week. Italy has also announced the deployment of a naval frigate to waters near Cyprus amid fears of the conflict spreading across the Mediterranean, while Pope Leo once again called for an immediate end to violence and renewed dialogue. With missile strikes expanding across the region and diplomatic tensions rising, fears are growing that the conflict could spiral into a broader regional crisis unless urgent diplomatic efforts prevail. Tripti Tripathi's report for DD India.
And Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi once again on Sunday said that the Iranian people will elect their own new leader and not Donald Trump. Araghchi also said that Trump should apologize to the people of the region and the Iranian people for the killings and the destruction it has caused. Anti-war demonstrators gathered outside England's Fairford Royal Air Force Base on Saturday as US Air Force began operations from the British base in the escalating West Asia conflict. A B-1 Lancer bomber and a C-5 Galaxy transport were also seen on the runway. The UK government has confirmed that the US is using RAF Fairford base and the Diego Garcia base for limited defensive operations to prevent missile attacks from Iran. Meanwhile, more than 1,000 people marched through the French capital, Paris, to call for liberation of the Iranian people. Demonstrations also took place across Europe, Africa, and the Americas, with some protesting against Iran's current regime and others expressing support for its late supreme leader who was killed in the first US-Israeli strikes on Iran. Nepal's political landscape is undergoing a dramatic shift as the newly formed Rashtriya Svtantrata Party, led by Balen Shah, makes significant strides in the country's parliamentary elections. Shah's party is on the verge of securing a historic victory, sparking hope for a new era of leadership. DD India's Rahul Upadhyay brings us more.
Partial results from Nepal's parliamentary elections released on Sunday show Balen Shah's newly formed Rashtriya Swatantra Party making remarkable gains. With the majority already secured in the direct contests, the party appears headed for a sweeping victory, signaling a dramatic transformation in the nation's political landscape.
I am very happy I voted for him. I spoke to my friend in Damak and they said we had to vote for him once and make him win. We had to bring a change in the country.
We are very happy that Balen won here, Balen Shah. We were fed up of our old government, old people running our government. Now the youth has come and we are very hopeful they will do good for us.
Counting is still underway in 14 constituencies, while final results have been declared in 151. The Rashtriya Swatantra Party has already secured 119 seats and is leading in 6 more under the first past-the-post system. In contrast, the Nepali Congress has managed to win only 17 seats, UML has 7 seats, with leads in 2 constituencies, and NCP has won 6 seats while also leading in 2. Meanwhile, more than 80% of candidates are set to lose their security deposits after failing to secure at least 10% of valid votes in their constituencies. According to the election law, candidates must cross this threshold to retain their deposits submitted during the nomination. The Election Commission will release the final nationwide figure of forfeited deposits once counting concludes across all constituencies. In a notable gesture, former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli extended his congratulations to Balendra Shah following his victory in the latest parliamentary elections. On Saturday, Balendra Shah, former mayor of Kathmandu, delivered a stunning political upset by defeating former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli by more than 60,000 votes in Nepal's high-profile Jhapa 5 constituency. As Nepal awaits the final tally from the remaining constituencies, the surge of the Rashtriya Swatantra Party stands out as a defining moment in the nation's politics. Balendra Shah's journey from a reform-focused mayor to a national force reflects generational call for change. The days ahead will reveal whether this momentum can propel him toward leadership at the highest level, reshaping Nepal's political future. Rahul Upadhyay's report for DD India.
And for more updates on the poll results, we are joined by our correspondent in Kathmandu, Shweta Singh. She's joining us from Kathmandu. Shweta, give us a sense of what we know right now is that 119, they've declared one and they're leading on about 6. Have the figures changed? Are the results still trickling in?
Amritpal, you see, as I'm talking to you right now, it's like 122 seats have already been won by Rashtriya Swatantra Party, and they're leading in 3. So by now it's like 159 constituencies results are out, and Rashtriya Swatantra Party is taking the lead, and probably by end of the result, if it's by tomorrow morning, probably all the rest of the 6 seats results will be out for that also, and 70% seat is taken by Rashtriya Swatantra Party. So they have got a massive win. You see the second largest party is Nepali Congress with 17
Shweta,
seats.
one sec, I'm stopping you. These are the figures for the direct ballot, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and what happens on the proportional ballot? How does that work? How do the results, do people tick 2 on the ballot?
Yes, Amritpal, every voters are getting 2 ballot paper. One is for first past the post system, that is for 165 seats. And another ballot is for proportional representation, that is for choosing a political party at the center. So one is for choosing a direct candidate for their constituency, and the other one, proportional representation, is for the party they want to represent the country at the center.
Right.
So as FPTP system counting will be over, immediately the counting for proportional representation will start, and by Monday or Tuesday, we expect that overall nation will know who is winning in proportional representation as well. So as they have performed superbly well in FPTP system, it is expected that Rashtriya Swatantra Party will be doing much better in proportional representation.
Okay. So it looks likely that in all likelihood, the RSP will form the government. Balendra Shah could be the next Prime Minister if his party confirms him to be so. But I really want to understand from you that what worked for Balendra, what worked for RSP. Is it an RSP win? Is it a Balendra win? Or he's just the face of the RSP? What really worked in the Nepali politics?
Amritpal, you have asked a very nice question. In fact, it was RSP being lucky to take Balendra in their team. Because Balendra was a popular mayor of Kathmandu. He had really changed Kathmandu into a better shape with waste management, taking off all the unwanted construction here. So he was, in any case, very popular in Kathmandu. And as a rapper also, before 2022, he was very popular for having his popular song Nepal Hasiko, which was against corruption. So he was, in any case, represented as a youth leader from very beginning after his college time itself. He's a structural engineering master's, and people wanted some face who really represents the youth with good educational background. And Balen is really fulfilling their dream that way.
So
and
he got the imagination. Okay, it's being said that, of course, he'll become the youngest. If he becomes the Prime Minister, he'll be the youngest Prime Minister at 35. But it's also being said that he would be the first Madhesi Prime Minister. For those of us in India, the Indian audience who do not understand Madhes, where is it, and why haven't the Madhesis really become Prime Ministers? How big a shift is it in the Nepali politics?
Amritpal, you see, Balendra is a person who has been born and brought up in Kathmandu. But his roots belong in Madhesh. That is, he's from Mahottari. His parents, grandparents were from Mahottari, that is in Tarai. Tarai is a region which is bordering India. Across east to west, that region is called as Tarai. And Madhesh is a portion that touches Bihar, Bihar of India. And here, people have a cultural similarity with India. And Madheshis, for long duration, they thought they have been discriminated against the mountain people because here constituencies are demarcated by the area, not by the population. If it was population, it was Madheshi people who would have got more number of seats.
Okay.
But the demarcation is by area. So mountain is very sparsely populated, but area is very large.
Okay.
So that way, maximum representation at the center is of mountain people. And Madheshis have been feeling themselves discriminated. Many a times, if you go to Rai, they say we don't have much say. But now you see, Balen used this, his origin of being of Mahotari, to his advantage. Madheshis now, they think that their son is going to lead the country. And because he's born and brought up in Kathmandu, he's a mountain guy as well. So he exercised both, he had advantage of both the places.
Okay.
That was the best part for him.
Okay, that worked for him. Smart chap there. Anyway, Shweta, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us. And still to come up on DD India NewsHour, top EU leaders to discuss the situation in West Asia with leaders of the region on Monday. Trump says he will not sign any bill into law until the Voter Act bill is passed by Congress.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Amritpal Singh. EU leaders Antonio Costa and Ursula von der Leyen will hold a video conference with the West Asian leaders on Monday to discuss the situation in the region. A spokesperson of the EU Council, President Antonio Costa, said on Friday that the exchange will provide an opportunity to hear the leaders' assessments of the situation and to discuss further support from the EU and its member states to countries in the region, as well as ways to bring the current conflict to an end. Earlier, foreign ministers of all 27 EU members discussed the situation in Iran and the broader West Asia with their counterparts from the Gulf Cooperation Council in a video call on Thursday. US President Donald Trump has vowed that he would not sign another bill until the Congress approves the voter bill that the Democrats believe would disenfranchise some voters. Trump's comments come almost a month after the Republican-controlled House of Representatives voted to require proof of U.S. citizenship in the November midterm elections. Lawmakers voted 218 to 213 to approve the Save America Act, with only one Democrat joining Republicans to back the measure. The action sent the legislation on to the Senate, where it is unlikely to garner 60 votes needed for a supermajority. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of multiple development projects with around 33,500 crore rupees in Delhi on Sunday. The Prime Minister inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of the Delhi Metro projects worth about 18,300 crore rupees. He also inaugurated 2 new corridors of the Delhi Metro and laid the foundation stone for 3 new corridors under Phase 5A of the Delhi Metro, covering a route length of around 16.1 kilometers. These corridors will provide direct connectivity to important locations in the national capital and improve connectivity. An earlier Prime Minister visited the General Pool Residential Accommodation Type 5 quarters in Sarojini Nagar in New Delhi and handed over the keys to women alatis. The scope of these projects is extensive, ranging from growth of the metro network to the establishment of modern residential complexes for thousands of government employees. The Prime Minister also handed out the PM Swanidhi cards, which provide working capital term loans to urban street vendors in 3 tranches. On the International Women's Day, President Draupadi Murmu highlighted the government's efforts to boost female education, while Prime Minister Modi underlined that women are shaping India's progress with determination, creativity and unmatched zeal. Take a look at this report.
Events marking the International Women's Day were held across India. President Draupadi Murmu praised the national-level celebrations organized by the Ministry of Women and Child Development at the Manekshaw Center in New Delhi on Sunday. She highlighted the government's initiatives to boost female education.
पिछले एक दशक में महिलाओं के सामने आने वाली रुकावटों को दूर करने के लिए मजबूत नींव रखी गई है। भारत ने स्कूल एजुकेशन में जेंडर पैरिटी प्राप्त कर रही है। हायर एजुकेशन में भी ग्रॉस एनरोलमेंट रेशियो की दृष्टि से बेटियों की संख्या अधिक है। साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, इंजीनियरिंग एंड मैथमेटिक्स एकजुट है। एजुकेशन में महिलाओं की भागीदारी तेजी से बढ़ रही है। केंद्रीय बजट 2026-27 में प्रत्येक जिले में एक महिला छात्रावास की स्थापना का प्रावधान किया गया है, जिसमें स्टेम की छात्राओं को अपने अध्ययन को जारी रखने में सहायता मिलेगी।
President Murmu also addressed an event called Bharat Nari to Narayani, the first national convention of women thought leaders at the Vigyan Bhavan in the national capital. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also conveyed his warm wishes on the occasion. Taking to social media site X, he posted, and I quote, "On International Women's Day, I extend my greetings to all our Nari Shakti. Across every field, women are shaping India's progress with determination, creativity, and unmatched zeal. Their achievements inspire our nation and strengthen our collective resolve to build a Viksit Bharat. Empowerment of women is at the core of our various schemes and initiatives. We remain committed to creating opportunities that enable every woman to realize her full potential and contribute to India's journey of development." The Ministry of Women and Child Development also organized the women-led Shakti Walk titled as "She Leads Bharat" along the Kartavya Path in New Delhi. Bureau Report, DD India.
On the occasion of the International Women's Day, we celebrate the achievements, resilience and contribution of women who continue to shape a stronger and more inclusive India. Across sectors, from science to entrepreneurship to governance, defense and sports, Indian women are excelling and making the nation proud. Take a look at this report.
The theme of International Women's Day this year, Rights, Justice, Action for All Women and Girls, highlights the importance of ensuring equal opportunities, dignity and empowerment for every woman. In India, several initiatives of the Government of India are strengthening this vision of women-led development. Programs such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao are promoting the value of the girl child and encouraging education for girls across the country. Schemes like Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana have improved the lives of millions of women by providing access to clean cooking fuel and a healthy environment at home. Financial empowerment is also expanded through Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, enabling women entrepreneurs to access credit and build successful enterprises. At the grassroots level, women-led self-help groups under the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihoods Mission, are transforming rural livelihoods and strengthening community leadership. Today, women are making their mark in sectors ranging from technology and defense to sports and public administration, reflecting a confident and progressive India. As the nation celebrates International Women's Day, the message resonates strongly. Empowering women and girls is essential for building a just, equal, and prosperous future for all. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
And thousands of people came out in the cities across Spain on Sunday to denounce the violence against women and the war in the Middle East or West Asia sparked by US-Israeli strikes. Demonstrations marking the International Women's Day took place in Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, Seville, Granada, Bilbao and San Sebastian, among other cities. No to war. Anti-fascist feminists against imperialists' war were among the slogans written on the signs as the protests. Madrid saw two demonstrations in the center of the Spanish capital, one for transgender rights and the other for legalization and regulation of prostitution. Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. A beach accessibility project in Rio de Janeiro brought people with disabilities and reduced mobility into the waters using specialized amphibious wheelchairs and volunteer support to provide inclusive ocean access. The Beach for All initiative offers adapted equipment including aquatic chairs along with infrastructure and trained volunteers who assist participants to dip and swim in the sea. The Pennsylvania Convention Center in Philadelphia has transformed into a colorful garden as 2026 Philadelphia Flower Show opened with a spectacular floral display. Visitors explored elaborate installations featuring orchids, tulips in vibrant shades. Now in its 197th year, the Philadelphia Flower Show is the world's largest and oldest indoor flower exhibition, attracting more than 250,000 visitors each year. And still to come up on DD India NewsHour, an expert's take on the Nepal's poll verdict.
Always welcoming. The vibe of Punjab is larger than life.
Welcome to Jaipur.
The land of forests, nature's hidden jewel. Jharkhand
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says, supply creates its own demand, between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India. Welcome to
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Amritpal Singh. Let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking at this hour once again. US and Israel continue to strike Iran, hitting civilian and economic infrastructure. Iran keeps up drone attacks on Gulf countries. Arab League calls Iran attacks on member states reckless. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates development projects worth 33,500 crore rupees in Delhi. Rapper turned politician Balen Shah's party heads for a poll landslide in Nepal, secures massive lead in both direct ballot and proportional representation of vote. President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Modi extend greetings on the occasion of the International Women's Day. President says educated and empowered women are pillars of a progressive nation. And to talk about the Nepal elections, I'm joined by Professor Sanjay Bhardwaj, who teaches at the School of International Studies at the Jawaharlal Nehru University in the national capital. Welcome to the show, Professor Bhardwaj. Let me begin by asking, everybody's been calling it a Gen Z victory, but what worked for this 35-year-old Balendra Shah? And I was a little while earlier asking my Kathmandu correspondent, is it a vote for the RSP? Is it a vote for Balendra? Was Balendra able to, because as mayor of Kathmandu, he contested independent, and this party just came into existence post the September protests last year. So what really transpired and what worked?
No, I think, this is a second revolution. I would call it second revolution. The first revolution was in 2006. When the Maoists had basically defeated monarchy, and they promised the people that we will bring an egalitarian society, will bring constitutional republican Nepal. But the people had high expectations from Prachand's the Communist Party of Nepal, Maoist, and then later on that Communist Party of Nepal, UML, and KP Oli, all that. Even the Nepali Congress, they had very high expectations that now it will be constitutional government, they will be Republican, and the people will have full right to participate, and that and this Nepal would be a federal country and people's grievances. But I think it could not happen. That there were clear-cut failure of delivery, and what we the people have witnessed that the number of unemployment was increasing, inflation, there were no economic growth, and they have seen that there were frequent change of the government. And sometimes, like it had happened in after 2022 election, that the largest party was the Nepali Congress, and the third largest party was the Prachand's Maoist Center. But Prachand has become the prime minister, and second time, like KP Oli has become the prime minister, and the largest party were just a coalition partner. The people had seen that how they were mockery of the constitutions and democracy, and I think the young generations that they had high expectations. They are influenced by the social media, particularly Facebook and YouTube. That 70% influence are from these two social medias. And the KP Oli government that become very nepotism, promoting nepotism, promoting authoritarian tendencies, and finally he banned the social media. The 26 platforms has been banned. I think that had the people were very upset. That a number of people were involved in through the social media. They are making this earning source and all that. So I think totally backfired, and the people's expectations, what they wanted in Nepal for last 2 decades, could not make it. And now are looking forward to RSP.
All right.
RSP it's not new. It was formulated in 2022 when Rabi Lamichhane was the leader. But I think that the way Balen has got the popularity, he was a rapper and he got the popularity and support while he was a mayor of Kathmandu. He contested independently. Later on, recently he joined RSP, and I think the performance it is clearly reflecting that this was really a true Gen Z revolution. It is not like from Bangladesh what happened and could not get much things. But I think this is the real transformations and.
Okay, Professor Bharadwaj, you call it the second revolution. You say, when in 2006 there was an expectation that now it will be a party, it will be politics of the people and their agenda will be taken forward. But then these political wranglings and that revolving door coalition governments kept coming and political wrangling kept happening. So realpolitik took over. People got frustrated with it. Jobs were not there, economy was going down, inflation was up, people had to migrate outside. Again, the anger, the RSP and Balen may have capitalized on that anger, on that frustration and come into power or swept the polls in a landslide victory. But again, winning an election is one thing, governing is another. Does the RSP face the same threat?
Absolutely, very good question you have asked. He has a lot of challenges. First thing, he is not experienced as the old guards were there. This is the first thing. Second thing, how he will accommodate Rabi Lamichhane. He has cases of corruption, money laundering, and all that. How they will survive. Third thing, that how he will accommodate and have a balanced relations with the foreign powers, and particularly that India and Nepal has very unique relations, and the way Balen had put the Greater Nepal's map in his office, and how he will work with with India and how he will keep the extra regional powers away from the Nepali politics are real challenges. But most important challenge is the unemployment, and that crisis is taking place in Middle East, in America. There are anti-migration policies and all that. A lot of Nepali people who are migrating from Nepal to other parts, they are now looking forward and with the hope that they will go back to their country and they will get the employment and opportunity and all that. And that would be the music for Balen, because he has to sustain the economic growth, and he has to provide and meet the expectations of the youth.
And that's easier said than done. I mean, turning the economy around is not easy. He's made tall promises. He may have been seen as a change man while he was mayor of Kathmandu, and the cleaning, etc., that he did of Kathmandu. But that's very localized. Running the affairs of a country and turning the economy around, providing the kind of jobs he's promised, is not going to be easy for him.
No, it's not at all. But I think if he will have a positive rationale, particularly while he will cultivate good relations with India, and particularly there are a lot of potential in energy sector, hydroelectricity and all that. I think if they will have a positive and constructive relations with India, that immediate neighbor, I think that could provide a good opportunity for the youth in getting employment and coming out with the new businesses and all that. I think that he has to come out from the parochial politics, what the KP Oli used to do, bringing Chinese, keeping India out, bringing, that a lot of things were happening in the past in Nepali politics, the pressure that he has used. So I think that if he will come out with these parochial, narrow political games in Nepal, and he will accommodate all the forces and work with India, I think he can somehow
But what is his position? Because he's been blasting the foreign powers, and which in Nepal primarily means India. So what is his outlook on that? How does he look at India? Though the Prime Minister was an early world leader to congratulate and say, he tweeted, as a close friend and neighbor, India remains steadfast in its commitment to working closely with the people of Nepal and its new government to scale new heights of shared peace, progress and prosperity. So the Prime Minister extended, the greetings and extended the olive branch. But would he take it? What is his outlook towards India?
Yeah, I think, sometimes for the political discourse, Nepali politicians, they forget that India and Nepal has unique relations. And the unique relations in all the either economic and political and cultural and all the way. But the way KP Oli tried to balance and bring the Chinese and signed 9 MOUs, those were not viable for the development of Nepal. And I think that has created a delivery deficit among the youth and among the Nepali people. I think when he will come out and we will develop the infrastructure development projects, IT, medical, health sector, capacity build-up, and aligned with the Indian industries and Indian service sector, I think there are possibilities that Balen will sustain the expectations of the youth, and he will run the country what the people had been expected. But there are other challenges. The people, they were also demanding about the Hindu state, and some of them, they wanted to bring monarchy and constitutional monarchy back and all that. I think he has to work with all the powers, all the sentiments of the people, and that would bring political stability and economic development of Nepal. And I think what Prime Minister Modi was looking to have the like BBIN projects, having the BIMSTEC and engaging in the multilateral fora to these smaller states like Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and all that. And if we will work together and make Eastern South Asia sub-region as one entity for developmental projects, I think that number of expectations, because there were also arrangements let Nepal have cultivate good relations with Bangladesh, let Nepal export energy to Bangladesh, let Nepal use Mongla and Paira port in Bangladesh, and this kind of gestures were there, and but somehow
now with Bangladesh also in turmoil, we don't know. We have a new government there. We don't know which way it will go. It has standing grouses against India. The whole trilateral cooperation comes into question. But Professor Bharadwaj, when you talk to an average Nepali, they tell you that there is a part of the problem lies with you, that is India. They say, look, we need the money. Anybody who gives us the money, if the Chinese give us money, we will take it. Why wouldn't we take it? You have a problem that if the Chinese are getting in, there's a fear of influence is increasing, etc. So they say your fears are unfounded. We are ready to work with you. We are ready to work with the Chinese. We are ready to work with whoever it is in the interest of Nepal or beneficial for Nepal. So is the part of the problem with us also?
No. I think we have to look this very different way.
Okay.
India has policy approaches. One is that we have very non-reciprocal relations with the neighbors, and we have been working with the neighborhood first policy. And India simply has 3 expectations in the neighboring. One is that let's ensure the security, that let the extra-regional powers do not enjoy the premise of the neighboring countries, and also do not promote any kind of fundamentalism, terrorism, and insurgency from the neighboring countries. Second, India is basically, and what is Prime Minister Modi talks about, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Let's consider this entire South Asia region as one unit for the developmental, and let the neighboring countries have joined the developmental boards, what India is looking forward. The third very important aspect...
No, but that is your argument. That is the Indian argument. Your neighbors don't agree with it. The Sri Lankans say, well, your pockets are not deep enough. If the Chinese are giving us money, why wouldn't we take them? The same sentiment you see in Bangladesh, in Nepal too.
I don't go with this argument.
Okay.
What the Sri Lankans has faced the music, and they were very close to that trap. And I think, and India was the first country who responded. Who responded and given relief to the Sri Lankans when they were in economic crisis, deep economic crisis, fuel crisis, food crisis. You know that, and India was the immediate relief to these countries, and they understood They are looking for constructive language. So my point is that the political constituents, they are in these countries, either in Bangladesh or in Sri Lanka and in Nepal. They want to create a political discourse for anti-India premise, and basically they are diluting the developmental drives, and they are diluting the youth and creating one kind of a small state fear psychosis. I think once they will come out from these parochial threats, I think India and the neighboring countries, they will work together. They should learn from the European Union, that how they have come together and developed a Europe. And India is looking forward to engaging with these countries very constructively. We are not promoting any kind of security threat to, and we do not have any examples in the past also. So let them come, let them join us, and we are happy to work with their development.
Okay, so we'll see where this goes, but right now the Gen Z wave seems to have worked in favor of Balen Shah. Will he be able to live up to the expectations of the youth? Because the youth is emotional, but the youth is impatient too. The youth, if he does not deliver and deliver fast enough, the tide could turn. The same support, which is the same people who've come out in his support, could turn against him. That threat always remains. We've seen that transpire in many parts of the country, even within some pockets of our own country. Professor Sanjay Bhardwaj, we leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us and lending us your insights. Thank you. And the Indian ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Dr. Sohail Ejaz Khan, along with the Deputy Chief of Mission, Abu Matan George, and Councillor Wais Sabir, held a virtual interaction with the Indian community representatives across Saudi Arabia. The ambassador assured full support to Indian nationals and highlighted the embassy's recent initiatives, including a 24/7 control room for assistance. Community members appreciated the embassy's proactive outreach. Sri Lanka has seized a major consignment of narcotics after intercepting a local multi-day fishing trawler in deep seas off the country's southern coast. According to the Sri Lankan Navy, more than 102 kilograms of heroin were recovered from the vessel after it was taken into custody late on March 7th. The trawler and its suspects were brought to Diko Vita Fisheries Harbour, where inspections confirmed that sacks found on board contained heroin. Naval and investigative teams also discovered about 900 grams of cocaine during the search. A new digital app called Digi Dukan was launched in Hyderabad on Sunday to help small traders do business more easily. The app was inaugurated by Chairman of the National Traders Welfare Board. The event was organized by the Federation of All India Distributors Association with representatives from 13 states. The Digi Dukan app will allow small traders, including retail shop and store owners, to purchase goods directly through a digital platform and receive delivery at their shops. You're watching DD India NewsHour. Now time for some sports news. The high-octane ICC Men's T20 World Cup final between India and New Zealand is underway at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. New Zealand are under pressure as Akshar Patel dismissed Finn Allen and Glenn Phillips. Star pacer Jasprit Bumrah removed Rachin Ravindra for just one run, while Pandya picked the wicket of Mark Chapman. Kiwis are 5 wickets down. Dominant India have set a massive 256-run target for the Kiwis to chase in 20 overs. Opener Sanju Samson narrowly missed out on a century, getting dismissed for 89. And this was Samson's third consecutive 50 and the highest individual score by a player in 2020 World Cup final. Abhishek Sharma saved his best for the finals, smashing the fastest 50 of the tournament of just 18 balls. Ishan Kishan also made 54 of 25. Reigning champions India are on the brink of achieving 3 world records. If they win, India will become the first team to defend the 2020 World Cup title, win it thrice and win it on home soil. And my colleague Suchitra Bhardwaj now joins us from the venue of the match in Ahmedabad, the Narendra Modi Stadium, outside the Narendra Modi Stadium. Suchitra, massive total by the Indians first.
Yes, Amrit, this is the highest total by any team in a T20 World Cup final, and also the highest score at this venue. The earlier highest score at this venue was 234 that was scored by India and against this very team New Zealand, and in that particular match, while chasing that big target, New Zealand were bundled out at 66, and a similar kind of situation we are seeing here today. They had to chase a big target, but New Zealand totally crumbling under pressure today. They have already lost 5 wickets. The required run rate is already sky high, so we can say that it's just a formality now. India is going to create history. They are going to become the first team to win the T20 World Cup consecutively. They will be the first team to defend their T20 World Cup title, and also the first team to win the T20 World Cup on their home soil. So the cup is staying at home. We are not saying cup is coming home because we are the host. This cup is
staying at home. Okay. What really worked for the Indians when the Kiwis took decided to field first? The logic would have been that it's a batting pitch. We can chase it. They've got good batsmen. They crumble under pressure. That's a different story. But they've got good batters in their lineup. So what didn't go well for them, and what went well for India?
Well, Amrit, it was a strange decision from the New Zealand captain. They won the toss and they decided to field first, because in a big match, in high pressure situation, generally teams prefer to bat first, put up a big total on the board, and then let the other team, crumble under pressure. Because in a World Cup final, whenever you are chasing, there is pressure on you. I think the idea was to restrict India below 200, because New Zealand, they still have the fire power. Finn Allen, Tim Seifert, they were performing really well in this tournament. But I think New Zealand were looking forward to restrict India below 200, because New Zealand had not crossed 200 in this tournament so far, while India scored, breached the 250 mark in their twice in their last 3 matches. And this is the third time. Today, India has breached the 250 mark for the third time in this tournament, the first team to do so. So I think their decision to field first was to take some early wickets, but that opening stand between Abhishek Sharma and Sanju Samson. Abhishek Sharma, the #1 T20 batter in the world, was struggling throughout the tournament, but he saved his best for the final. The big players are the big match players. So today Abhishek Sharma proved that he is a big match player with that quick 50 and that stand with Sanju Samson. I think that power play total, which was also a record, the highest power play total by any team in this tournament, that was the turning point of the match. Because after that kind of start, India's run rate quite never slowed down till the late overs, because then Ishan Kishan joined hands with Sanju Samson, and we saw another 100-run partnership. And the run rate, the scoring rate of Ishan Kishan and Sanju Samson was quite high. And at one point of time, India was staring at 300.
Yeah,
it looked
if not 300, 270, 280, yes.
Runs here.
Yeah, if not 300, 270, 280, yes.
Yes. So New Zealand bowlers, they did make a comeback in the last overs. They restricted India to 256, but 256 is already the highest total in a T20 World Cup final, and it was a mammoth total. And when you are chasing such kind of total in T20 World Cup final, you have to be under pressure, and now we can see what is happening to New Zealand.
The latest result is 89 for 5, 10.1 overs over as we speak. Very succinctly, because my producer is telling me to wind up, will this, if India wins, which looks likely given the way the game is progressing, Suchitra, will the Motera jinx be over?
Yes, so many jinx are going to be over, because no team has won the T20 World Cup twice. No team has won the T20 World Cup on their home soil. And today is Sunday. You know, the previous ICC finals that India won, they were played on a Saturday. India has never won an ICC final on a Sunday, so that Sunday jinx is also going to be broken. And this is the largest cricket stadium in the world, and you know, it was meant to be, you know, India is meant to be the world champions at this stadium, because Ahmedabad, we can see, is very soon going to be the sports capital of India. So many big sporting events planned here. The 230 Commonwealth Games are also going to be held here. So it's just befitting that India becomes T20 world champions in this city, in this stadium. It augurs well for the future of Indian sports.
Okay, I'll let you go now. You've done too much work. I'll let you go out and enjoy once the match gets over. Thank you, Suchitra, for joining us for the moment. And Indian badminton star Lakshya fell short in the men's singles final of the All England Open earlier today, losing to his familiar rival Lin Chun-yi in Birmingham. Despite putting up a strong fight, the 24-year-old couldn't get past a left-handed shuttler from the Chinese Taipei, according to going down 15-21, 20-22 in a hard-fought contest. The defeat marked Sen's fifth consecutive loss to Lin and his second runner-up finish at the prestigious tournament, having previously reached the final in 2022. After battling blisters and cramps during a gritty semi-final win a day earlier, Sen delivered an impressive run throughout the week, toppling several higher-ranked players before ultimately falling short in the championship match. Mercedes driver George Russell struck the first blow in the Formula One Championship as he claimed an emphatic victory in the season-opening Australian Grand Prix. Having dominated qualifying pole-sitter, Russell's win at Albert Park gave his team their first Melbourne victory since Valtteri Bottas claimed the 2019 race. The Briton finished nearly 3 seconds ahead of the Italian Antonelli, with Leclerc more than 15 seconds at the Lakeside circuit. It was a tough day for McLaren as home hero Oscar Piastri crashed during a reconnaissance lap 40 minutes before the start. His teammate and defending champion Lando Norris finished fifth, 1 place behind the 7 times world champion Lewis Hamilton of Ferrari. A golf tournament was organized by the VGT at the Bhalaswa DDA Sports Complex in New Delhi. This was the 8th tournament hosted by the group, held on International Women's Day. The event saw participation from around 60 golfers, ranging from an 8-year-old player to an 87-year-old senior citizen. Such competitions are being organized regularly to promote the sport of golf in the country. Players from across Delhi as well as other states come to take part and showcase their skills in the game.
We have 60 participants, age group right from 8 years to a veteran of 87 years. It's a very versatile age group, and they are battling it out since 6:30 in the morning from various places. We have people coming from as far as Jammu and Bhopal when they heard about this tournament, and a very good number of the participants are participating here for the 4th or 5th time.
We are super seniors, you know, and we believe that golf is a game that you can play till you probably go up. So if you stay fit, golf is the game, and actually it helps you to stay fit. It's a great way to kind of get in the morning air and fresh air and stay healthy. So yeah, so we were all enjoying ourselves.
And that's all in this edition of DD India NewsHour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Amritpal Singh from my entire team here in Delhi. Thank you for watching DD India NewsHour. Goodbye.